Hello, everyone. This is Vincent Pacillo, host of the msuwma podcast. We have another amazing episode planned for you today. We recently had Chris Hogan. Chris is a two-time #1 national best-selling author of the books Retire Inspired and Everyday Millionaires. He's a financial expert who has been featured on CNBC, Business Insider, CNN, and more. For years, Chris has dedicated his career to helping others build their wealth, retire, and invest. In our conversation today, we talked about his book, Everyday Millionaires, how he got into a career in finance, and we also discussed how college students can jumpstart their career and build their skills in personal finance and much more. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the msuwma podcast. I'm joined here with Chris Hogan. Chris, thank you for coming on.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So just to kind of get things started here, how did you end up in a career in finance? Where did your journey start? How did you get to where you are today?
Well, I always have loved people and been in leadership positions throughout my sports career. And just caring about people and the relationship side of building and helping people develop, I think has been something that's always been a part of me. And then also, I also enjoy money. And so understanding how it worked, how does this money stuff really work? Because you can work hard to make money, but if you don't understand how it works and don't have a plan for it, then all you do is end up working hard, but you never end up making any progress. Mm-hmm. And so it was that reality of, wow, I can use my care for people and care about people and my interest in money, and being able to combine those two are two things I'm very passionate about.
Awesome. That's amazing. Awesome. So moving on then to, so obviously like the relationship between you and the people that you serve and the people that you coach is really important. Really what our club is about is we're inspiring the next generation of financial advisors. And it's really important that we are able to manage their money, obviously very effectively, and really build that relationship part of it, because this is a relationship job. This is all about that. So what distinguishes good advisors versus bad advisors? What are like the qualities that people should look for when they're going out and looking for a financial professional? Because in your book, Everyday Millionaires, you quote the stat that 68% of millionaires use an investment professional.
That's exactly right.
So what should they be looking for?
Yeah, well, I think it's important for individuals out there who are looking for an investment professional to look for a few characteristics. One of them is a teacher's heart. And what I mean by teacher's heart is they don't have the heart of a salesperson. They actually have the heart of a teacher, which means they're trying to help their clients learn about what's going on, understand their goals, and then help them develop a plan. Now, you notice I said help them. It's not about the investment professional taking over, right? It's actually this mind shift. As I tell people, your investment professional works for you. Right? Mm-hmm. Your tax professional works for you. And so the client is the employer, the service provider is the employee. And I think it's good to have that mindset because it helps to keep things in balance. Right. Another thing I would say is a servant's heart. Mm-hmm. A servant's heart is you have a desire and a goal to be able to serve your client well. It's not about what the client can do for you or what they provide you. It's what can you provide them in pursuit of their dreams.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's incredible. So as future financial advisors, how do we guide our clients, our future clients, to building wealth and becoming everyday millionaires? Because that's obviously the goal for us and that's the goal for our clients. What's a good way to start?
I think a good way to start is individually. Meaning there are collective concepts that you guys know and that you're learning about in the investment world and in the financial world. But every individual is wired differently. And so the ability for you to be able to communicate with your client, not at them. And this is a big deal. If I were in the classroom with you guys or sitting around talking, I would emphasize this over and over again, that you don't use a $20 word when a $5 word will suffice. And what I'm saying is talk to the level of the client that you're meeting with. Don't talk over their head, talk with them. And it's a two-way street. It's a dialogue, right? Where it's a conversation. It's one way, then another. And so I want you to make sure that you all learn to listen more than you talk, because listening to the client, it's going to help you understand their hopes, their fears, as well as their dreams. And when you know that as a financial advisor, you're going to be best able to serve your client right where they are.
Absolutely, that's awesome. So now I think that's a really good way to start with what like let's talk about this millionaire study that we did, because I feel like a lot of people don't truly understand how these millionaires became millionaires. So do you want to kind of dig deeper into that? Like let's like tell everyone like how like what you guys found and the
Yeah.
statistics you guys found.
Oh, absolutely. The project was a lot of fun. We did the largest study of millionaires that's ever been done. We talked to over 10,000 of them all across the country. A lot of people are familiar with the book Millionaire Next Door, and they talked to around 800 millionaires. So we did 10x that, right? We talked to over 10,000 because we wanted to dig in and really find out, what did these millionaires do? What were they thinking? How did they get there? And my goal was to really dig in and find out, is the American dream still available? Is it still possible? And what we found out through a lot of research and a lot of digging in is that it is. Everyday millionaires are everyday people that are hardworking people that have worked with an investment professional, that have understood how money works, but they've been extremely intentional over their lives. And so it was a lot of fun. The book, the study's amazing, all the statistics and stuff in there, and the information in there about what we learned about these millionaires, but the stories in there are fantastic. And so all together, it kind of gives people this view of really what's possible for them.
And that's the other thing too. Like when I was noticing the book, every chapter you write, you have about 1 to 2 stories of millionaires, so that when people are reading through it, they can say, well, that person's done it, then I can do it too. And I just think that's right. Amazing and inspiring in so many different ways. What were you surprised? Like were there like, how many stats were you surprised by when you did this study? Like,
listen to me, there were so many that, you have your assumptions, but then when you dig in a study like this with over 10,000, you're getting proof. And I was surprised how many millionaires were actually working with an investment professional. I was surprised at how few, such a small percent, 79% of these millionaires didn't inherit a dime. I would have thought that would have been a little bit higher. And the careers blew me away, of the studies. We had engineers coming in as the #1 profession of millionaires, and then accountants were #2, but teachers coming in at #3.
Unbelievable.
Blew me away, right? And you start to think about this and you look at it and you go, well, hold on a minute. Teachers understand the importance of knowledge, growth, as well as lesson plans. And when you think about money, of being consistent over time and growing in your knowledge and being just so intentional, year after year, month after month with your pay, it's possible. So people that read this book are going to learn a lot, but you're also going to really start to dig in and understand the mindset of what it takes for people to get there.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of misconceptions from this book, like when you read it, like you can be like, people might read the book and say, well, I feel like a lot of it has to do, like, you have to make a 6-figure salary. You have to be a doctor. You have to be a lawyer. You have to do this. Yeah. That's absolutely not the case. I mean, in the book, like you were saying, that these people live in average square foot of 2,600 square feet house. They're not living in mansions. They're not buying new cars. What was the stat with the cars? It was like 4-year-old car that's paid off with 41,000 miles on it. It's absolutely insane. So they're living beyond their means or below their means, and they're living their life. And saving as they go along. I want to get into this as well. What is the #1 wealth building tool of millionaires? What gets them there?
Well, I mean, the #1 wealth building tool of millionaires is their income. Right? Because with their income, what they're focused on doing is being intentional with investing and growing it, understanding what do they need to do. And then inside of that, in their income, they're intentional with budgeting. They're intentional with getting themselves out of debt. So it's that intentionality factor that is absolutely crucial. And what I wanted people to realize is that it's not about your income level. It's not about where you went to school. 62% of the millionaires that we studied went to a public state university, right? 9% went to community college and 8% didn't go to college at all. So really what it boils down to is your intentionality, understanding what's going on, but also getting the right professionals on your team. And that's why I talk so much on the Chris Hogan show about building your dream team, right? You need people around you that have knowledge that you don't.
Yeah, and I really like that analogy that you and Dave say about Dave Ramsey, for those of you who don't know, about how your financial advisor is your personal CFO.
That's right.
And I think that's a great way to put it. Like that person is on your dream team and helping you to reach your goals.
And we've seen this. I've been a part of Ramsey Solutions, which is Dave Ramsey's team, for over 15 years now. And we have been teaching people the importance, excuse me, of being willing to ask questions, being willing and open to grow, and just talk, right? I think money is such a personal thing that you can allow your pride to get in the way of your progress. And I tell people that don't let your pride get in the way of your progress. Ask for help, begin to learn, but you have to grow in your own personal knowledge. And so when I wrote my first book, Retire Inspired, I was really trying to give America a wake-up call on this topic of retirement, right? And my subtitle for the book is Retirement's Not an Age, it's a Financial Number, right? So you got to grow in knowledge so you can grow your number.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. And so what are some skills that we as college age students that we can develop right now, especially like in this career of wealth management and all the concepts we're learning to build wealth? Like what are some of the things that we can start doing right now to get on that path?
I think first and foremost, I think it's really understand, if you're passionate about this area, right, of finance and investing. And I say that being passionate about it because your passion will fuel your knowledge. It'll drive you to continue to grow. But I would tell you all, having gone undergrad and gotten my master's as well, your communication skills, learning the art of communication, understanding interpersonal relationships, is just as important as your business acumen. I'd probably say it's more important. Studying psychology, really being aware of how the mind works and how people work. And so if you all, as you're growing in your career, you need to understand your education doesn't stop after schooling, right? You can go get your series licenses, CFP. You want to keep growing and reading constantly because it's going to help you to understand how people work. And when you understand how people work and you understand your industry, you can help merge those two to help people make progress.
And awesome. And going off of that, what are some books that you recommend for people our age?
Listen, I can send you a list, but on the book front, there are so many out there that will help you understand how people are thinking and just the industry. One that I'm reading right now is Atomic Habits, which is a really good book. Another one to read is Good to Great. And of course, Dr. Henry Cloud has a book called Necessary Endings that I would advise you all to pick up. And I mention these books because not only does it kind of give you the framework into the business world, but it also gives the framework into the individual. And that's something you all are going to continue to be growing in as you start to work in this industry and grow in your knowledge.
Absolutely. And let's not leave out Everyday Millionaires because I think that's a pretty good book too as well. So,
well, it was a great project. The team and I had a lot of fun working on it. It was a lot of work. The research study took over 1.5 years to complete, but really digging into it, it really helps people to understand that the key phrase of no matter where you grew up, it doesn't matter where you were born, it doesn't matter where you went to school, you have an opportunity to become an everyday millionaire. You need the right mindset, the right characteristics and the knowledge and the right people on your team, you can do this. And that's literally the message that I've been trying to get across the world, is to help people understand you don't have to be born into money to build wealth. You have an opportunity to start a legacy right now. You just have to choose.
Absolutely. And I keep mentioning this book too, because it's not just a list of assumptions. This is backed up by facts. This is statistics that you found from over 10,000 millionaires. And I think it's really important that people understand that these are facts, these are solid, hard facts. And it's really important to understand going forward. So you consider yourself as a financial coach, correct? That
is correct. Absolutely.
So what have you learned over the past years of being a financial coach? What has changed?
Oh my. Well, the thing that I've learned is it's not about what I know. It's about what the client feels. And I say that because it's important. I think too often times in the financial world, people can begin to, almost like a physician, a bad doctor comes in and starts prescribing. A good doctor comes in and starts asking questions and finding out where it hurts. How long has it hurt? Where else is it hurting? And taking the time to really ask questions and get to know. And I think in the financial world, we need to do the same thing. Find out
Absolutely.
about your hopes and dreams, but we also can't gloss over the fears. We
Mm-hmm.
have to find out, what is their risk tolerance? What are they scared of? How did they grow up learning about money? My friend and colleague Rachel Cruz,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
has got a new book out called Know Yourself, Know Your Money, and
Mm-hmm.
it's helping people to really begin to understand the mindset, how people feel about it. And so I would say that I've learned so much about slowing down, really connecting with people. The knowledge can come, but I need to give it to them in the doses that they're ready to receive. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is something that would be very helpful for you all as you grow your career.
Absolutely. And so kind of going off that as well, if you're in this field and you're trying to figure out, like, if you want to be a financial planner or a wealth manager, what's like a good way to kind of distinguish that and being a financial coach? Do you have any what would you consider the main differences between the two?
Well, I would say this. I would say they're one and the same.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is a financial coach, like to me, is somebody that is locking arms with people, understanding the individual, understanding their hopes, dreams, and fears, but then beginning to help them develop a plan to get there, right? And so the wealth manager or the financial advisor is going to get into the nitty gritty of going about that and physically managing it. The coach is helping people with the concepts and the nitty gritty of budgeting, understanding getting out of debt, understanding the importance of saving and investing. And so I feel like a person that has the mindset and the heart of being a financial coach has a great opportunity to really be in that role and help. So does the investment professional or the wealth manager. So it's all a matter of really understanding that, hey, I really want to help people with their legacy,
Sure.
right? And I think that's the greatest compliment that you all could ever get, is not only when you start working with a client, but they start introducing you to friends and family members just in the way that you've treated them.
Right.
And, that recommendation, as you guys will learn in the business school side of things, is the greatest compliment. The recommendation and a referral is the greatest thing a client could ever pay you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so on your Instagram recently, you posted something that said, building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes.
Dig into that.
Well, back in the day, looking at this stuff, Vincent, I was smaller. So I used to do a little sprinting every once in a while. I primarily threw shot put and disc, but I did sprints, and I loved running the 200 because in a sprint, what you're trying to do is run as fast as you can, right? In a short distance, the 100, the 200, and some crazy people run 400s. I don't know why they would do that, but that's a sprint where you're running a lot of energy really fast for a short period. But a marathon's different. Now, granted, I've never trained for one. I'm too big for that. But a marathon, it's a thing that it's a distance, right? You're training for distance. You got to get out, and it's 26.2 miles. I talk about building wealth as a marathon because it's a mindset, right? I tell people, when you're getting out of debt, that's a sprint. I want you to run as fast as you can, as hard as you can to get that debt out of your life. But when you start to getting to that building wealth, now what I'm talking about is a mindset. It's a way of living. It's a thing that you're going to go on this journey and you're staying on this path. And so helping people to understand the difference is really crucial.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. Maybe this might be a similar question, but also might not be. So getting rich versus building wealth, is that kind of the same concept, or would you define it a different way?
Well, I tell people, and I post on my Instagram, I said, if you live fake rich now, you'll be real broke later, right? Yeah. And the rich mindset, I think, is the dangerous mindset that's in our culture right now. Gotcha. That's doing something fast, like, the GameStop stuff we've been hearing about recently, or Bitcoin or the cryptocurrencies phase. Those kinds of quick hit, fast hit things I call getting rich. I think building wealth is a whole lot different. Building wealth is a steady thing that you're doing consistently over time. I'm not looking for the one-hit wonder, right? I'm not trying to hit a grand slam. What I'm trying to do is hit singles. I want to hit base hits every day with my income. I want to invest and grow money. And so I don't want people to try to get rich. I want people to build wealth.
Gotcha. Awesome. Amazing. And then I want to ask you this. What motivates you? Whenever I see you on the show, the Chris Hogan Show, you're always such in a positive, consistently positive state of mind. You're always upbeat to help people. What makes that?
I'm motivated by helping people. to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I am the recipient of so many people that have coached me throughout my life. And I'm talking about family members, teachers, coaches, people that saw more in me maybe than I saw in myself at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for it. I'm so very grateful that people pushed me, encouraged me, and educated me and empowered me to grow. And so, you know, I feel that's something that I'm obligated to give back to people. I know the value of an uplifting word. I know the value of someone being pushed too beyond where they think they can go.
Right.
And so that's the thing that I want to do. I tell people, you know, my legacy, I've got 3 sons, but I would hope one day when I'm long gone that somebody would bump into one of my sons and say, I heard your dad speak, or I read one of his books and that man encouraged me. That to me would be one of the greatest legacies I could ever have.
Yeah, that's super powerful. That's amazing. And then the other question I wanted to ask you too was, you have the Chris Hogan Show. You get a lot of calls every day. What are the kind of things that you see on the callers front? Like, have you been noticing different trends across the last 5 years? Like, what have you been seeing?
I'm going to tell you this, Vincent, it has blown me away, the number of millennials that are calling in that are dialed in on this money stuff. I mean, dialed in as in attacking and paying off student loan debt, or calling to find out, hey, how do I complete my degree and not take on any more debt? Or that they're saving up 20 and 30% for down payments on homes. And so I get excited because I realize we've got young people that are understanding this game a lot sooner and a lot better than a lot of baby boomers or Gen X or Gen Y. And so that to me is a positive trend, because if we can get people unchained to debt and locked into their dreams and the plan on how to get there, we're going to have happier people on this planet.
Absolutely.
We're going to have people doing the career that they love. My friend Ken Coleman helps people. He's got a book called Proximity Principle, where he's helping people get into their dream careers and the careers that they love. And I think if we can get people doing what they're passionate about, you get happier people. Happier people serve people better.
And there was a stat actually in this book that correlated to that, that statistic as well. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but
it was talking about how 64% of the millionaires that we studied loved their jobs, loved what they do for a living. And I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Absolutely. And obviously I want to be respectful of your time because we don't have much time, but I just kind of want to open the floor to you. Like what general advice would you want to give to us as college students? Like, we're about to graduate, we're about to live out our careers. What's something that you can leave with us?
Well, I tell you what, this is something I'm passionate about, and I appreciate the time, Vincent, the opportunity to be able to connect and share with you all. I know when you're in school, you have this mindset of wanting to get done, right? You're striving. You want to get done with undergrad or get done with grad school. You're so ready to move on to the next thing.
Right.
What I would tell you all, and some things that I wish someone would have grabbed me by my hair. I had hair back then, Vincent. I had hair, buddy. I wish someone would have told me that it's good to be driven and it's good to have goals, but take the time to smell the roses. Be where you are right now, meaning you all have an incredible opportunity to grow and establish your network in the business world in an amazing way.
Right.
Getting connected to the people on campus, the administrators, the trustees. So that's the first thing. Slow down. Number two is enjoy where you are. Your college years are some of the best years of your life. You make real friends there. So take the time to really get connected to friends. Practice the art of gratitude. And what I mean by that is whenever you have someone to do something for you that they didn't have to, I want you to have a spirit of gratitude. Write a thank you note to any place that you go do an interview, any place that you work, to a client. Having that spirit of gratitude will be a game changer because it helps you build your personal brand. Would be really important. And the final thing is don't live fake rich. For you to be an incredible investment professional, you do not need to wear a $3,000 suit and you don't need to drive a $75,000 car. I want you all to be smart and live the principles that you're learning. Be smart. You're always going to have somebody that has something better than you. Stop judging yourself against them. You are you. Be yourself. Be the best version of you and help as many people as possible.
I love that. Awesome. Chris Hogan, thank you so much for coming on our podcast. Really appreciate your time.
Hey, it's a pleasure to talk with you, my friend.
Absolutely.
If you liked what you just heard, please like, comment, and share. msuwma, or Michigan State University Wealth Management Association, is a student organization part of the Eli Broad College of Business located in East Lansing, Michigan. Our mission is to inspire and educate the next generation of financial planners. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please check out our channel on all platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcast. And check out our social media at msuwma and msuwma.com.